What is going on, guys? It's been a while. Sorry I haven't made a video in the past week. I've been a little bit under the weather, but I'm feeling better today. My voice is a little bit better, so I'm gonna go ahead and get back to my regular scheduled upload situation. Also, I'm in a different location. It's been storming outside, so I'm not getting a lot of natural light behind my usual backdrop right there, so finding the best lighting that I can. It's actually decent. Guys, today I'm going to be answering a question: is anxiety hereditary? Now, when I talk about this, I'm talking about anxiety disorders and depression. I'm not necessarily talking about everyday anxiety and stress. Sure, genetics could mess with those, but I'm talking about people with the serious stuff, the actual anxiety disorders. But if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt, you know what to do. Smash that like button down below. Leave me a comment as well. Let me know if you have any family members that deal with the same anxiety disorders or depression that you do, unfortunately. Also, just let me know your general thoughts on this topic. So guys, I'm not a therapist, psychologist, counselor, or a medical doctor. I don't try to replace those things at all. I promise I don't. I actually encourage you to see a professional for any of those situations. But what I do on this channel and what this channel is all about is just to spread awareness, and I think that's a good thing, to help educate you to a certain level by sharing my experiences, my stories, my experiences, certain sensations, symptoms, etc., but to show you that there is good news and that there is light at the end of the tunnel and that you can recover from anxiety disorder. Because if I did, and I suffered from multiple anxiety disorders and bouts of depression, I know for a fact that you can too. Okay, so kind of later in my anxiety disorder days, right around the time that I started to recover, I started to do more research, study more, which is important, guys. I tell you, you need to understand what anxiety is all about to defeat it. Don't just neglect, education, all right? You need to understand how anxiety works so you can beat that. That's kind of what this channel helps with. So subscribe to other channels like mine. Read, okay? That's gonna help you a lot, get a lot of different opinions, and try out what works best for you, okay? That's just very important to me. So, I was just, digging deeper, and I was asking questions to myself, why did I have a panic attack in this situation and such over here didn't, okay? Why do I worry about my health, obsessively? And this person over here could care less, about what happens if they get a pimple or a bump or a rash, they don't obsess over it. Why do certain people have performance anxiety and others just seem to go through their performance flawlessly? These are very, very important questions. And you can talk about fears, phobias, why are certain people scared of heights? And you can narrow all of these things down. And studies do suggest that genetics do play a pretty significant role in people that have anxiety disorders and depression, okay? And we can go ahead and throw the fears, the phobias, all of that. Genetics play a role in a lot of things in our lives. Anxiety is no different. However, I will say that those same studies and research show, and this is pretty crazy right here, that environmental factors actually have a more significant role than even genetics. Because if you really think about it, I'm just trying to give you some common sense right here. We are not just born out of the womb, even though our genetics we're genetically prone to a certain anxiety disorder. I wasn't just born with panic disorder, I wasn't just born with anxiety disorder, general anxiety disorder. I wasn't born with health anxiety. I was prone to those things, but I still had to learn how to handle adversity in a negative way to actually make these anxiety disorders and bouts of depression actually come to fruition. That's why I still generally believe that anxiety disorder and even depression is a learned behavior. It's an unhealthy coping mechanism that helps us deal with our reality, our adversities. So this is very important. It's scary, especially if you have children. You wanna make sure that they have a very healthy environment growing up, because this is whenever our minds are really shaped the most. This is whenever we learn the most, take in the most. A lot of people that have anxiety disorders, a lot of these environmental factors happen whenever we are young, whether that be, when I talk about environmental factors, guys, I'm talking about childhood trauma, sexual abuse, physical abuse, if you were bullied, things like cyberbullying or physical bullying, even substance abuse. Now, that was one of the things that really made my anxiety disorder go to fruition. I think I was genetically prone, but I think substance abuse and an unhealthy lifestyle really drove me to developing these issues, which was all kicked off by a horrible 6-hour-long panic attack. And that's all she wrote there. That just continued for 5 years. Now, whenever it comes to genetics, guys, yes, if you have distant family members that have some of these issues, it still can play a role, but I'm primarily talking about immediate family. Now, I don't want to, blast my immediate family or anything. Of course, none of this is their fault, but I have certain family members in my immediate family that deal with depression, that have had panic attacks, that have had health anxiety, that have generalized anxiety disorder. This made my chances of having these things, or made me more genetically prone or primed, if you will, to develop some of these same issues. Now, here's some statistics for a couple things, and I could make this video into a 2-hour thing, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to try to bore you. For instance, if you have a family member that has OCD, you're 10 times more likely to get that. Pretty significant. If you have, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that I was looking at. If you have panic disorder, okay, you are more likely to have one or more people in your family that deal with that. You're 50% more likely, to have one or more people in your family that have panic disorder. That's pretty incredible stuff right there. Now, ironically, with generalized anxiety disorder, which is just, the general form, which most people are diagnosed with, only 40% of those people have a family member that had a similar diagnosis, which is pretty weird. But I think that goes to show that probably is more brought on by environmental factors rather than genetics. But some of these more intense and particular disorders, genetics probably play a little bit more of a significant role. So I want you guys to know that. But there's good news. Anxiety is a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior on how to deal with negative adversity in an unhealthy way. Pretty much sums it up. You can learn healthy coping mechanisms to reverse this whole situation. That's what I did, in fact. And all my tips for anxiety are down below. So be sure to check those out along with all the other the resources that I have down there. They can really change your life. They've changed many people's lives. It changed my life. Okay, so just try to follow that plan and stick with that. But you can unlearn this, all right? But it just goes to show that some of us are just more genetically prone to anxiety than others. But it's not a death sentence in any way. In fact, there's tons of people that are very genetically prone to have things like addiction, to have certain behaviors, to have certain personalities, to be abusive. There's people that have genetics that will make them more prone to suicide. Same thing with depression, anxiety disorders that turn out perfectly fine. Okay? And that's a good thing. That's good news. It's not a death sentence. I still believe that anxiety disorder and depression are learned situations, okay? They're learned behaviors. So guys, if you got any value out of this, please like this video down below, hit that thumbs up, and remember, leave me a comment. Let me know, do you have any family members that are going through the same anxiety disorders or depression that you are, or just your general thoughts on this topic? Guys, down below, check it out. There's tips down there. There is online therapy. You basically can do therapy like I'm talking to you right now. It's cheaper than in person. You can choose from hundreds and thousands of various counselors. This is also great if you have addiction issues. And counselors, psychologists, therapists, etc., etc. And it's convenient. You can do it at home or on your laptop. So that's down below. I have tons of other books, workbooks, and journals that are great for your anxiety. That's down below as well. Now, my social media is down there if you haven't joined any of those. My Snapchat, my Twitter, my Instagram. The Facebook group is down there, okay? Any anxiety disorders or depression sufferers are welcome in that group. We are over 34,000 members. Wow, the lighting has gotten pretty intense here. The sun's starting to come out. Go figure. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. And again, I apologize for not having a video out this past week. I was feeling kind of sick, but I'm starting to feel better, and I'm going to try to get back on my regular upload schedule. But guys, I love you guys. Keep on fighting. Anxiety recovery is possible. Like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't, okay? And hit that notification bell so you get updates when I put these videos out. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later.